So, all you scared to death Negroes, just sit down. Don't you come out to defend our enemy. You sit down and you shut up and tell your master to come on out and deal with it.
All right. All praises are due to Allah. Now you are inspired to know that you can do much while you're on the college campus. I want to start with a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as I introduce our next guest, Dr. Toni Muhammad. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, suppose we got together and had an online university where people can sit and have classes in every discipline and we don't have to leave our home. Could you imagine something like that? Well, this sister that you're going to hear for, she is completely a visionaire. Dr. Toni Muhammad serves as Allen University's, listen to this, Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs and Distance Education. Dr. Muhammad, whose higher education career spans more than 27 years, works directly with the executive leadership team to advance cutting-edge strategies and solutions for the university's recently SACS-COC approved distance education programs in social science and criminal justice. Dr. Muhammad obtained an undergraduate degree in sociology from the University of Louisiana, Monroe, and at the age of 20, she received a master's degree in social science and sociology from Grambling State University at the age of 22. She entered doctoral school at the age of 24. She was not playing, y'all. Earning the degree in African American Studies from Clark Atlanta University. And in 2019, she completed the Academic Leadership Academy at Penn State University Colleges of Education Center for the Study of Higher Education, and was fast-tracked into a leadership role at Allen University. She has held faculty and leadership positions at colleges and universities in Louisiana, Illinois, North Carolina, Georgia, and currently now in South Carolina. Let me be pleased to just honor this guest. She is my personal friend. I love her dearly, and the message that she's going to give to you now that we are in this COVID period of time should be very important for you all to hear as we look at the change of the campus and the structure of what you will do with your mission to serve your nation. Dr. Toni Muhammad, the mic is yours.
Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm so thankful and grateful to be here. Pleased that I have the opportunity to be invited to this very important and special event for our nation and for you, specifically our youth. This is a very important time in our nation's development. And I was thinking to myself the other day on a lighter note, what a blessing it is to be alive at this time to witness all of the phenomenal changes and transitions that are taking place. And so I have declared this year of 2020 the year of vision, clear vision, and I'm thankful to the beautiful committee that invited me to present, and also your wonderful regional laborers who are always thinking about ways to advance our nation and providing platforms for the beautiful committee to come together and put this event on. And I'm also very honored to be in the company of many of the greats that are on this call. The presenter before me, Sister Makeda, of course, Dr. Miata, Dr. Ridgely, Dr. Wesley, and I'm not familiar with everyone, but it's a real privilege and a real honor. So I'm going to, of course, share my screen with you as well. So your uniqueness is the key, however, to your major and your mission to serve the nation. And to choose that major, the most important aspect, and I believe Sister Mecca mentioned this earlier, of that process is to focus on yourself. By focusing on yourself, you'll be able to actually come to who you are and what you desire to do and how you're going to do that quicker than anything else. So, of course, as many of you are aware, if you've been reared in the Nation of Islam, or if you have, really heard your parents talk, or you've listened to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we walked, we marched, we ran, so you can fly. And we want you to start with what you know, and we want you to go beyond what is known. Don't think of pursuing a major from, of course, the way that majors are currently being reflected in the modern day. Because due to COVID-19, due to the pandemic and the protests, as you probably have realized, things are changing so rapidly. They're changing so quickly. So you really have a lot of room to impress the pathway for those who will come behind you in future generations. So build beyond what's expected, right? Remember, our nation was already online. So when COVID-19 hit, we were already doing meetings on webcasts. Many people were not familiar with this process. Many churches and other religious organizations, this was something new for them. Using that technology was not something new for us. So in order to even think more about going beyond what is known, you got to know your purpose. Your purpose is rooted in your desire. What is your desire? What do you want to do for yourself and for your nation? And then you have to listen to yourself. And when you listen to yourself, that'll allow you to tap into your passion. And you need to seek guidance from those who are in the field that you want to go in. So Sister Makeda, hopefully at some point, will have some interaction with Dr. Ridgely. She'll have more interaction with other people who are in the Ministry of Agriculture, as I'm sure she already has. And then, of course, she, through her study, is having a broad range of interaction with different persons, so that as she develops into the field, she has a knowledge and an understanding of what has been done already. Read and welcome challenges that strengthen you. You have to read. There's a lot of reading involved, intense reading, and that is not going to change, especially as we make these transitions into digital and online education, because unfortunately, we may not be able to always come together and meet in person. And so because of that restriction, you'll want to be the person that is staying ahead and getting ahead and being the person that is driving yourself towards your goal. And then understand the importance of others and build alliances and relationships. As our previous presenter shared, building those alliances, establishing relationships, not just with people who are in the field and who are older than you and who have access to the resources that you will want and need as you pursue your goals, but also with your peers. One of the biggest things that we oftentimes may overlook is building networks with our peers. This is something that I've been telling students in my classes for the last 30 years. You should be thinking about who's in this class with me, who's going to be an attorney, who's going to be in law enforcement, who's going to be a medical doctor, who's going to be in education, who's interested in getting a PhD, who's going to be in computers and technology. This is the way we want to start framing our desires in terms of building a nation. And then, of course, forming relationships so that we support each other in our goals. So, for example, if you want to pursue agriculture, then you have Sister Makeda. She's a great example for you. You have Dr. Ridgely as well. But you have a recent graduate who can share with you her notes, who can share with you the insights on what courses to take and why you should go to Tuskegee and other institutions alike. You have a variety of different individuals in the Nation of Islam who have bachelor's and master's and PhD degrees and other various types of professional degrees. You should access all of these people and make them a part of your team. My personal, you heard Sister Odetta mention how I finished my undergraduate degree when I was 20. Well, coming into the Nation of Islam when I was 19, I was a fast learner already, but I really became inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to move even faster in my studies because of the goals that I've always had. So how do you choose your major? Well, I chose mine based on, as Sister Makeda outlined, my talents, my interests, my hobbies, things that I like to do. I gathered a lot of information and I did the research. You have to do the same thing. You need to read, you need to study, you need to explore. And the beautiful thing that they have, Sister Mecca, Sister Odetta, and Sister Dawn, that we didn't have probably when we were coming into college, they have the internet. I just love it. You can get online. You don't have to go to the library and look in the card catalog system and read magazines in there, you know, because we didn't have access to a lot of those things in our homes. I know I didn't growing up. So going to the library was the best place to be. But now you got the library on your phone. You have it in the palm of your hand. So you have access. And that's something that you can easily get information from and do the research on. Of course, assessing events and making your own predictions. So for me, I knew I wanted to be, for example, a person that studied society, a person that understood society and understood relationships and people. So what did I do? I looked into the future predictions that they were making, and then I made my own predictions based on the fact that, one, Europeans and Caucasians are dying. They're not reproducing. They don't have the capacity to reproduce. They will not be in the future for all intents and purposes. They will be the minority. So in my mind, it was very clear to me that I wanted to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan educate our people. So I decided I would get degrees in higher education that would allow me to do that. And that's what I do today. So of course, I made my own predictions based on the information that was provided to me at that time. And that was in 1990. Get involved, have as many experiences as possible, and then observe what other people are doing and make processes of elimination based on that. Yes, I want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. And you need to learn to meditate. This is one of the top things that we are now talking to students about in college and higher education, because there's so much out there. We are inundated with information 24/7 hours, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Too much information can make your life really very difficult. It can make decisions hard. So you need to learn how to quiet your mind and meditate and take some time for yourself as you think about selecting that major. So of course, my sister before me mentioned what we want. Well, of course, we know with point number 4, we haven't been able to get along with these people in peace. So obviously, even though I, for all intents and purposes, feel that we're already separated, we live separate lives, but we want to take it a step further, and we want that separate space or territory, and we want to be prepared. And in order to be prepared and to choose the right major, especially in light of technology and all of the changes that are rapidly happening before our eyes, we need translatable and transformational skills for position, power, and authority. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you must qualify yourself for positions that await you. So you need to get skills in order to do that. You cannot get there without those skills. So in order to do that, you need to focus. When you focus, you'll be able to do that with ease. Oftentimes, people have asked me, how did you get a degree at 20? How did you get a master's at 22? And how did you start doctoral school at 24? And how is it that you got from being an assistant professor to being an associate vice president in 2 years? Focus.
Focus.
If you want something, you have to focus on it. My mission in life is to serve the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's mission, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's mission, and ultimately to be in alignment with Allah. So whatever will serve me in terms of me moving myself into those positions is what I will do. And you have to make this your fun. You have to choose power majors, engineering, science, math, of course, language. And would you believe it? Predictions are mental health will be one of the #1 needs going into the very near future. Now, you might be saying, well, we don't need mental health, but we know we need mental health. That's why the minister gave us Dianetics, right? We know, all of us making this transition, we need as much help as we can get. And double major. You don't have to get 1 master's degree. I tell my students, get 2 master's degrees. Get you a PhD and get a law degree. You want as many skills and tools as possible. This isn't about one ministry. I can actually go in 4 or 5 ministries. I can do arts and culture. I can do Ministry of Agriculture. I can do education. I can do information and technology. So we don't have to be limited to one particular major nor one institution. Seek internships, find a mentor or a model, embrace opportunities to forge new paths. Do it now and do it today. Don't wait. So what's happening? The Industrial Revolution is transforming. It is practically out. As you can see, Industry 4.0, they call it the 4th Industrial Revolution. And now we're talking about the 5th Industrial Revolution. All of the workshops that I have gone to, events, conferences over the last year, including one at the United Nations, including one at Washington, D.C., they're all talking about 4th Industrial Revolution, 5th Industrial Revolution. They're talking about technology and what it means. So you can see that some of these are just talking about what some of the occupations look like around these changes and this industrial revolution. So prepare to meet and exceed the challenge. Top 10 skills: complex problem solving, critical thinking. Recently, the president of my university appointed me to the Columbia Economic Development Board. He put me on that board because of my level of critical thinking and complex problem solving. And you want to be one of those people, because economic development, as we know, is the key for our nation's sustenance. Creativity, people management. You know, if you look at the top of those top 10 skills for 2020, notice the shift from 2015. They deal specifically with people skills. And this is the number one thing that we're talking about now with the Columbia Economic Development Forum. Where are the people who have the skills and the talent to understand what's happening, the technology, and can help us to maintain and go forward from where we are? They call it also, this process, the Internet of Things. And I'm going to move a little bit faster for interest of time. And then sustainable goals. You heard Sister Makeda mention to you about what some of your goals should be. No hunger, no poverty, good health, well-being, quality education. All of these are some of the things that we hopefully want for ourselves and we want for our nation. And these are things that we should be thinking about as we're processing through the experience of the college experience. So, college costs in your major, some other additional considerations. Go for little or nothing, no out-of-pocket expense. U.S. News and World Report, that's a great link for you. I'll provide this presentation to the College Summit team so that they can share it with you. There are plenty of free colleges out there now. You do not have to pay out of pocket anymore. And then, of course, you can work for colleges. You saw your sister Makeda had several different internships that she completed, but you can even work for Apple. You can work for Starbucks. You can even work for Chick-fil-A. A lot of these companies will pay, but if you don't want to do any of that, it's your choice. And then, of course, if you want to experience free college, virtual, online, 100%, try out University of the People. University of the People is a fully accredited online university offering associate, bachelor, and master's degrees online. Check them out. Remember, our voices must emerge to the forefront. Up until now, everybody else has dictated to us and for us what we should and could and would do. And in addition to that, many of the people today actually doing something even more interesting. They're putting things out there that actually do not reflect the reality of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, has been teaching us for years. They're just now acting as if they've heard of racism and white supremacy and all of these wonderful things that we know to be true and have known to be true for eons and eons of time. And now they're actually attempting to tell our narrative. And so it's time for us to stop allowing them to tell our narrative and for us to tell our story. Thank you.
Be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Wonderful job, Dr. Toni. And I really appreciate the spirit that you come in, because as we are followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and students of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we do have to understand that spirituality, that has to be the focus. We can have all the knowledge we want, but if students don't get your spiritual self together, get that quiet time to meditate. COVID has given us a lot of sleep time, but prayer is better than sleep, and also that meditation time. So I really appreciate that component. But I'm going to use this as my little motto for the students now. I love that we walked, we marched, we ran, you must fly. I'm going to repeat that one because I really like that one. We walked, that's that old school team. We marched, we ran, you must fly. Praise be to Allah for that understanding, Sister Toni, that I pray that they feel with a passion as they look at their future and their mission to serve our nation.